Our babies and toddlers are growing and developing at such a rapid pace and constantly hitting milestones, right? But this means that their sleep can so be affected. So how do we handle sleep during these major milestones? Let's talk about it. Hi, my name is Sarah Bossio, and as the owner and lead pediatric sleep expert of Your Zen Baby Sleep, I help tired parents of children ages 0 to 8 years old. I create flexible schedules, establish peaceful bedtimes, and teach them to sleep through the night so that the entire family can get the peaceful, restful, and restorative sleep that they all need and deserve. So let's talk about exactly how we can get that sleep through these crazy milestones that they always seem to be going through. There are tons of milestones that we can think about, and some of them are external that we can see, and some of them are internal that are more mental and social and emotional developmental leaps. So the external ones are easy, right? So those are rolling, crawling, walking, talking, right? Anything that you can see on the outside are going to be our external developmental milestones, and they are going to possibly wreak havoc on your little one's sleep. Then we have some internal milestones that your baby or toddler might be going through that are less outwardly obvious, and you can do a little bit more research on those milestones if you follow the Wonder Weeks. I think this is a great resource to understand baby development, and while I don't follow it to a T, so I don't love to relate everything to their fussy weeks and their shiny, their sunshine weeks and their cloudy weeks, and I make sure that we're really looking at the baby as a whole and not just as related to their Wonder Weeks. I think it really is cool to understand that babies are not just doing things such as rolling, crawling, and walking. They also are understanding their spatial relationships. They are understanding cause and effect. They eventually understand the concept of separation anxiety. And these are things that are internal that we might not be able to understand. These are things that are internal that we might not be able to see the physical effects of, but will affect sleep. And the age-old question is, but what do we do? What do we do when they affect sleep? Let's figure it out. That's what I'm here for. When we are going through these major milestones, we can expect various parts of our sleep will be off. Many times when children are independent sleepers, it is not all of these sleep phases being thrown off. If our children have not yet learned the skill of independent sleep, we may see that more sleep is thrown off than just a nap or two, right? So I want to make sure that there's a clear distinction between that. Typically, our independent sleepers have less of a struggle during developmental milestone jumps, and our non-independent sleepers struggle a little bit more through these leaps and need a little bit more assistance. So we might see nap disruptions, meaning the naps might be shorter, or it might take a little bit more time for them to fall asleep at naps. We might see that it takes a little bit more time to fall asleep at bedtime, or we might see night wakings come back if our independent sleepers haven't had night wakings, or for our assisted sleepers, we might see that we need to assist to sleep more frequently throughout the night. We might see early morning wakings crop up. And the reason for this is because their brain is on overdrive. Their brain and their gears are just constantly turning in order to gain the new skill. So in order to really establish that skill of walking or rolling or talking, right? Like you might see that your baby wakes up at 2 a.m. and all they're doing is babbling or practicing their new word that they learned during the daytime. This is really normal. It's common. And it's just their brain not being able to shut down because it's excited that it has made this next major leap into this new skill development. We can help them through these leaps, and we can still maintain our sleep and get over the hump and keep things on track. The best advice for you is to practice as much as you can during the day. So whatever the leap is that you're going through, I want you to allow plenty of opportunities to practice in the daytime so that this isn't novel in the middle of the night. If you give plenty of time to crawl during the day, it won't be as fun in their crib at nighttime. If you talk with them all day long, it won't be as fun to talk at 2 in the morning. More practice during the day means less practice at night. Make sure that you're continuing to maintain your routine. So even though they're not sleeping as much or waking more frequently, I want you to maintain your routine and maintain your structure, especially for my independent sleepers. Because we know that this is more of a brain development leap and not so much caused by teething or discomfort, I don't want you to assist them to sleep. I want you to really rely on their independent sleep habits and make sure that you know they have the skill. They're not losing the skill of independent sleep. They're gaining a skill of XYZ. We don't need to go in and rock and hold and do anything back to sleep. We need to say they're fine, they're happy, they can figure it out. Maybe we need to go back to the method that we used to sleep train to provide them a little comfort or to check on them to make sure they're okay, but we don't need to go back to sleep assistance during these milestones. If your children are assisted sleepers, this might be something that you need to assist more often because it may be much harder for them to shut their brains down and they're going to be awake for much longer periods of time. And during these developmental milestone leaps, we do want to get as much sleep as possible and maximize on sleep, and their sleep might be much less than it is before. Maintaining routines, making sure that we're practicing, those are going to be the best 2 ways to help get over these milestones and these leaps that your little ones are so excited to make. I know as a parent, you are so excited that your baby or toddler is now doing this new and exciting thing, and it is really essential just to be patient. You know, it's one of those things in parenthood that we get so much better at the older our children get. Not easy, but we get more used to exhibiting that patience, right? So I hope this video was helpful for you in just understanding the why of the milestones and how it affects sleep and what we can do to help our little ones through it. Please let me know that it was helpful by giving it a like, and give me some questions. I love interacting with my community, and I love to know if you have questions about milestones and leaps and sleep. So scroll down to the bottom, leave a comment, and on the way, you'll see in the show notes that I have my link to my website, which will give you more information about my one-on-one programs. And I work with families all the time in one-on-one programs and help them to establish those independent sleep habits if you do have an assisted sleeper. And this is really going to help the next time your little one goes through the milestone. As always, from my living room to yours, thank you so much for joining me today, and I can't wait to see you next time.